Okay, hi, good day everyone. My name is Attorney Laika Coral, and I will be your professor for CRJ1 or Introduction to Criminal Justice System. So, ang memo na binabasa amin ay nag-meet na lang tayo once a week and our schedule for that is every Wednesday. So, yung schedule natin every Monday ay for asynchronous classes na lang. Katulad nito, mag-upload na lang ako ng mga recorded videos or I will be assigning activities, assignments, quizzes, which may be done individually or by group. So, the intention of the synchronous class ay para self-paced yung mga estudyante. So, kung kailan kayo available, kung kailan kayo ready para matuto, dun nyo lang gagawin yung mga activities or papanoorin yung mga videos na naka-upload sa LMS nyo. So, today, since the first lesson, I will be recording the first part of, I will be recording the lessons on the first module, which is yung introduction overview of the criminal justice system. So, I will be sharing my screen. Okay. Okay, ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung justice and yung mga principles tungkol sa hustisya. Ngayon, pag tinanong ko kayo about justice o hustisya, I know each and every one of you ay iba yung definition, iba yung interpretation of what justice is. Yung iba, iisipin na yung justice ay para makulong yung nagkasala. Yung iba naman, iisipin yung justice ay para ma-preclude o ma-deter yung ibang tao na gawin yung krimen. Yung iba, gusto magkaroon ng mabigyan ng danyos or damages because of the acts or violation ng kanilang mga karapatan. Iba naman ay para ma-ensure na yung mga karapatan nila ay nararespeto. No, so no, iba-iba yung definition natin of what justice is and lahat naman yun valid. And lahat naman yun may pinanggagalingan. But now we have two precepts of justice. The first one is to render to each his due. So, ibig sabihin po nito ay um, everyone should be entitled kung ano yung ginawa natin, whether it is a punishment or a reward. Okay, so halimbawa, if gumawa ka ng krimen, you should be accountable to it. Hindi pwedeng walang i-impose na punishment to you. On the other hand, kung ikaw naman na isang biktima and sakaling gusto mong i-prosecute yung krimen, then if the court finds na uh, the perpetrator actually committed the offense, then you will also be entitled to damages. No? So the second precept is that treat equals equally and unequally in proportion to their inequality. So this is somehow um similar to equal protection clause. So kung halimbawa kung si Juan and si Pedro ay gumawa ng krimen na nagnakaw sila, robbery. So hindi po pwedeng yung punishment kay Pedro ay mas mataas and yung punishment kay Juan ay mas mababa. Sabihin ko, kay Juan, 1 week lang na imprisonment, pero kay Pedro ay 20 years. Is that valid? No, it's not valid kasi hindi po natin inobserve yung equal protection clause. At the same time, kung ang ginawa mo lang naman ay nagnakaw yung isang tao ng isang delata sa convenience store. Hindi po pwedeng ang i-impose na penalty ay 10 years or 20 years. Kasi hindi siya tantamount or hindi siya equal, 'di ba? Hindi siya proportional doon sa act na ginawa ng offender. Dapat proportion lang sa kung ano yung offense na ginawa niya. Now, mayroon po tayong two-fold role of justice. The first one is the prevention of certain activity that is harmful to the society. So, ang idea dito ay to stop the crime before it even happens by discouraging individuals from committing it. So now, parang nagsiserve yung justice as a deterrent. So it will preclude individuals from committing an offense because they know that if they will commit it, they will be accountable to it, may punishment na i-impose sa kanila. The second one is that the apprehension and the formal processing of individuals who have committed illegal acts. Now, kapag isang individual naman ay gumawa na ng krimen, ano na yung sunod na process natin dito? The first is i-apprehend muna siya, di ba? Arrestuhin. Then after na arrest, ma-identify siya, i-charge, imbestigahan, mag-charge siya sa prosecution, and sa prosecution naman ay magka-file ng information sa korte. So, the justice system will ensure that the one who committed an offense will be held accountable. Diba? Okay. Now, ano ba yung elements ni justice? We have four elements. So, para maging effective ng administration of justice, we have to ensure that all of this are present. Otherwise, magkakaroon ng miscarriage of justice. The first one is the absolute ability to identify the violator. So this one is very crucial. Kasi in all criminal proceedings, kinakailangan po na ma-identify natin kung sino yung nagkasala, kung sino yung offender, kung sino yung perpetrator. Otherwise, there's a possibility na ang aarestuhin natin, na ang itatry or ililitis natin na ibang tao samantalang yung gumawa tuloy ng krimen ay nakakalaya. So, it is very vital, it is very crucial na yung taong paparusahan natin or rehabilitate natin as the case may be, should be the person who committed the offense. The second one is the absolute ability to apprehend the law violator. Now, um, once the crime has been committed. Now it is already the power and the capacity of law enforcers, law enforcement agencies to capture, to apprehend, or to take into custody the person who committed the offense. So, paano siya gagawin? Pag-aaresto doon sa nagkasala. The third one is the absolute ability to punish the law violator. Now, pag naaresto na, may naimbestigahan na, meron ng charge sa korte. Now, kapag yung korte nakitang yung taong yun ay nagkasala, then mag i-impose na siya ngayon ng punishment, whether prison term, whether community service, or whether rehabilitation or psychological treatment, as the case may be. So, yung punishment na ini-impose natin will serve both as a punishment siya doon sa offender kasi gumawa siya ng krimen, and pangalawa, it will also serve as a deterrent to individuals na, kapag ginawa ko pala yung ganitong actions, mapapanish ako. So it will also deter, it will preclude individuals from committing similar offense. And the fourth one is the absolute ability to identify the intent of the violator. So this one is also important para malaman kung ano ba yung intention ng perpetrator kung bakit may ginawa ito. With this, kapag nalaman ng mga agencies ang intent, especially the court, it will help the court impose or para mag-impose ng punishment. Kasi kapag yung intent ay intent is also crucial para malaman kung bababaan ba yung penalty or tataasan yung penalty. So, uh, the intent is important para makapag m- m- mag para mag-guide yung korte kung ano yung punishment na i-impose doon sa offender. Now, pag-usapan naman natin yung criminal justice. So, pag sinabing criminal justice, ito yung sistema na dinesign to maintain peace, to ensure safety, to uphold the rule of law, to enforce the law and within the society. So it involves also the cooperation of various government agencies and organizations. So basically, they work together. First is to protect the public, to enforce the laws, to apprehend the criminals, to prosecute the offenders or the perpetrators, and to correct criminal behavior. So let's isa-isahin natin yung key components ng criminal justice. The first one is the protection of the public. So the primary goal of criminal justice is to protect a society or the community from the harm. So this means preventing crimes from happening, ensuring public safety, and ensuring that individuals will not commit criminal acts that are punishable by the revised penal code or the special laws as the case may be. Now, the second key component of criminal justice is the maintenance of order. Now, the criminal justice also works or is also designed to maintain order within the society. So, by enforcing laws, nag, nag, nagsiset nag nagse tayo ng mga rules, ng mga alituntunin, ng mga batas na kailangang sundin ng mga individuals. So, with these rules, napapanatili natin yung order sa society. With these rules na nakakapag-impose din tayo ng mga um, punishment in case may mga transgression sa mga batas o sa mga alituntunin na uh, siniset forth natin. The third one is the enforcement of the law. So, in criminal justice system, we enforce the law that are created by the legislative branch of the government. So, the law enforcement agencies are responsible for investigating the crime by they are also responsible for gathering the evidence and ensuring that the rule of law is upheld. The fourth one is the identification of transgressors. Like what we have mentioned a while ago, it is very crucial to identify first who the offender is. Okay, so even if magpapasa ka ng complaint sa piskalya or even if magpapablatter ka, kinakailangan doon yung identity ng offender. Kasi bakit siya mahalaga? Like what I've said a while ago, kasi kapag hindi mo ma-identify kung sino yung gumawa nun, paano mo siya ipoprosecute? Hindi po pwedeng magdadampot na lang tayo kung sino-sino para yun yung prosecute mo. So you need to be very sure kung sino yung taong gumawa ng krimen para sila yung irereklamo mo, para sila yung ililitis natin sa hukuman. And the fifth one is the prosecution of the accused. Like what I've said kanina, after natin ma-identify, usually ang process kasi niyan, kapag may irereklamo kang individual, magpa-file ka ng complaint prosecutor's office. So, if nakita ng prosecution or ng piskal na nag-transgress or nag-violate ng batas yung taong nirereklamo mo, then magpa-file siya ngayon ng information sa korte. So, yung information pong sinasabi ko, yung tinatawag na sakdal. Okay, so kapag nasa korte na yung kaso, doon na po lilitisin yung akusado o yung taong nag-transgress o nag-violate ng law. So during trial, dito na magpe-present na ng mga ebidensya at ng witnesses yung both parties, yung prosecution and yung sa depensa. And then after presentation of witnesses and evidence, dito na po tayo pupunta sa number 6, which is finding the accused guilty or not guilty. So if after careful deliberation of the evidence and the witnesses presented by both the parties, now it is already the obligation of the court para mag-impose ng punishment kung makita niyang convicted, kung ang decision niya is for the conviction of the accused. And number 7 naman ay for the correction and treatment of criminal behavior. So now, if the court finds that the accused is guilty of the offense, then i-impose na ng punishment now si court. Now, after the imposition of the punishment, dito na magsiserve ng prison sentence, community service, or rehabilitation, or psychological treatment. Yung akusado kung ano man, depende sa kung anong punishment na i-impose ng korte. Now, pag-usapan naman natin yung what is criminology? So yung criminology is the study of a crime as a social phenomenon. So it is a body of knowledge regarding crime as a social phenomenon that includes within its scope the process of making laws, of breaking laws, and reacting towards the breaking laws. So in other words, sa yung criminology, ito yung study para sagutin yung mga tanong like why, bakit nangyayari yung mga krimen, paano ba mag-react or mag-respond sa society in case may mga crimes na nangyayari, o ano ba yung pwedeng gawin para i-prevent yung mga ganon, yung mga ganong paglabag sa mga batas, and paano natin i-address yung criminal behavior na meron ng isang tao. Now, the term criminology and criminal justice can be used interchangeably. So, like what I've said a while ago, yung criminology ay study of a crime as a social phenomenon. So, pinag-uusapan dito kung bakit ginagawa ng mga tao yung mga krimen, kung ano yung causes ng criminal behavior, kung paano nagre-react yung society sakaling may crime na nangyari. On the other hand, yung criminal justice is the system. Sistema siya. It is the process on which crimes are investigated, paano ba siya ipoprosecute, paano siya nililitis, paano siya pinapunish. So it includes the rules of the law enforcement agencies, the courts, the correction agencies, and the rehabilitation of offenders. Now, meron tayong 5 pillars ng criminal justice. So the first one is the law enforcement. So yung law enforcement is the first line of defense in maintaining peace and order. So yung primary responsibility nila ay i-enforce yung batas, investigahan yung mga krimen na nangyayari, mag-arrest, mag-apprehend ng mga taong nag-violate ng criminal law. The second pillar of criminal justice is the prosecution. So, ito po yung sa piskal. So, di ba doon tayo magrereklamo? Then sa fiscal, during preliminary investigation, titingnan niya kapag kung yung akusado ba should be held for trial. So if sufficient yung evidence ng complainant, then magpa-file na siya ngayon ng information or ng sakdal sa korte. So yung third pillar naman natin ay yung court. So ito yung institusyon na uh, dinidinig yung kaso ng mga tao. So dito nililitis yung mga cases. Ito rin pinapresent yung mga evidence and mga witnesses ng prosecution at ng defense. Now, uh, after mag-present ng mga evidence and witnesses, then the court will now render the decision whether it is acquitted or whether convicted. Now, kung convicted yung accused, then there will be a prison term. Kaya pupasok ngayon si corrections. So, si corrections, responsible siya for managing individuals who have been convicted of crimes and sentenced by the courts. So, this pillar of criminal justice will ensure na na-rehabilitate yung offender at the same time na-serve niya yung sentence niya. And then the last one, yung community, tinatawag din tong informal pillar. Hindi siya agency, but the community or the public also plays a vital role kasi una, sila yung nagre-report nagre-report sa law enforcement kung may mga crimes na nangyayari. And lastly, sila rin yung tumutulong sa mga akusado para ma-rehabilitate or kung sakaling magre-reintegrate sila sa society once na na-serve na nila yung kanilang sentence. Okay? So ngayon, pag-usapan natin yung criminal law. So pag sinabing criminal law, it is the body of the law that defines the crimes, treats of their nature, and provides for the punishment. So yung criminal law can be either substantive, the criminal law can be either substantive or procedural. Now, substantive criminal law defines kung ano yung mga general principles about criminal law. It also defines yung mga elements that will constitute an offense. Okay? So, dito pag-uusapan yung mga sa revised penal code and other special criminal laws na ginagawa or ina-enact ng Congress. On the other hand, we have procedural law. So, dito, nag-set ng mga guidelines kung paano i-handle yung cases related um, sa mga criminal offenses. So, dito papasok yung Bill of Rights. Kasi sa Bill of Rights, nandoon nakalagay kung ano ba yung mga karapatan ng mga akusado o mga tao during custodial investigation. Kasama rin dito yung sa rules of court, paano ba yung way of pag-aresto, paano ba tayo magpapiyansa, paano ba yung gagawin kapag nandoon na sa paglilitis or during trial. So paano ba dito rin nakalagay yung mga ways and means tungkol sa mga evidence and other matter related to the procedure. Okay, now yung crimes, ito yung acts or omission that constitute an offense that may be prosecuted by the state and is punishable by law. So yung crime pwedeng act. So ibig sabihin merong kang ginawa. Overt act. Halimbawa, nagnakaw ka, pumatay ka ng tao, that's an act. Okay, on the other hand, omission refers to the inaction. So dapat may gagawin ka pero hindi mo siya ginawa. Halimbawa, tax evasion. You have the responsibility to pay the taxes, but if hindi mo siya ginawa, then that's an omission. And another example is misprision of treason. 'Di ba? Dito, alam mo na mayroong conspiracy na magsagawa ng treason, but despite your knowledge, hindi mo siya ni-report. So, may inaction on your part. Then, that's considered an omission. So, anyway, yung crime, ito yung mga actions or inactions na constitute an offense and they are punishable either by the revised penal code or by the special laws. Ito yung basic principles natin sa criminal justice. The first one is presumption of innocence. Now, sa mga criminal proceedings, hindi obligasyon ng akusado na patunayan na wala siyang sala. Because it is the obligation of the prosecution or yung taong nagsasakdal na yung akusado ay guilty beyond reasonable doubt, which is the second principle. So the burden of proof in criminal proceedings, ay proof beyond reasonable doubt. And sa jurisdiction, in the Philippine jurisdiction, ito po yung may pinakamataas na burden of proof na kailangan. So ibig sabihin, pagbali-balik na rin naman yung mangyari, parang walang doubt sa isip ng judge na yung offender actually committed the offense. Kasi class, in the court setting, kapag magkaroon lang ng doubt sa isip ng judge na ginawa ba talaga to ng akusado, then if there is a doubt, so there is a probability or there is a large possibility na i-acquit niya yung akusado. Kasi ito po yung burden of proof na kailangan sa criminal proceeding, which is the proof beyond reasonable doubt, which is really parang mahirap siyang patunayan. So ngayon, let's move on to the philosophical approaches in criminal justice system. The first one is adversarial. So like what I've said a while ago adversarial approach, ina-assume na yung person nga or yung akusado ay innocent. So it means that the prosecutor representing the state must prove. So ibig sabihin obligasyon niya ng prosecution na i-prove the guilt of the accused beyond reasonable doubt. Okay, on the other hand, sa inquisitorial, ba't kabaliktaran to ng adversarial? Dito, the accused must prove the innocence. So, yung burden of proof ay nasa akusado na um, para i-prove na innocent siya. So, opposite siya ng adversarial approach and it puts greater emphasis on the conviction rather than on the processes by which conviction is secured. So sa Pilipinas, ang ginagamit po natin ay itong adversarial approach. Okay, so yung principle na ginagamit natin ay yung mga akusado, they are innocent until proven guilty, and the obligation to prove their guilt ay rests on the prosecution. So now, I think this last topic, these are the principles we adhere to in our criminal justice system. The first one is the due process. So sa criminal due process, this refers to the right of individuals to have a fair trial. So klase, yung due process, meron siyang dalawang aspeto. We have procedural due process and substantive due process. Okay, so pag procedural due process, this refers to the law itself. So ibig sabihin yung batas ay legal, yung batas ay may basihan. On the other hand, procedural due process means dapat napapakinggan yung nagkakaroon ng trial, dapat nabibigyan ng opportunity na mapakinggan yung akusado. Okay, yung procedural and yung substantive due process should coexist. Hindi pwedeng substantive lang, hindi pwedeng procedural lang. Okay, so halimbawa, merong batas na nagsasabi na um, kapag nagnakaw ka ng isang itlog, ang punishment mo will be 10 years. Is that na-observe pa yung due process? Hindi, kasi yung batas mismo is invalid. Kasi nga, hindi siya proportional doon sa punishment na inimpose ng batas. Even if nagkaroon pa ng paglilitis yan, even if napakinggan yung side niya, if the law itself is invalid, then due process is not observed. On the other hand, sabihin natin na pinatay talaga yung akusado. Pero hindi na siya pinakinggan. Wala nang hearing na nangyari. Wala nang paglilitis na nangyari. Kinulong na agad siya. Nagkaroon ba ng due process? Hindi nagkaroon. Kasi if nag-violate siya ng law, even if the law is valid, even if the law has basis, but yung procedural due process niya ay hindi na-observe, then yung due process is still absent sa kasong yun. And pangalawa na principle na sinusunod natin ay yung equal protection clause. So similar lang din to doon sa una natin sa first slides na rin na pag-usapan na those who are similarly situated should be treated alike, both to the crimes and the responsibilities imposed to them. So, kung si Juan at si Pedro ay nagnakaw, yung penalty na i-impose kay Juan ay kaparas lang din ng penalty na i-impose kay Pedro. Hindi pwedeng, sige, kaibigan kita, kaya absolve ka. Kaya kay Juan naman, kaaway kita, kaya 20 years yung punishment na ibibigay ko sa'yo. So that's not valid. Dapat po, so those who are parehas lang naman yung transgression or violation na ginawa nila, dapat similarly lang din, parehas ay yung treatment na binibigay sa kanya ng agencies na meron tayo ngayon. So that ends yung first module na meron tayo. And thank you. Have a good day ahead.